5 more tips to improve your programming skills to the next level. Let's get started. Yo, what's going on guys? Tanmay here for Simple Snippets, and in this video I'm going to be talking about 5 more tips to improve your programming skills and elevate them to the next level. Now the reason why I told it's 5 more tips is because this is the part 2, and in part 1 we discussed 5 different tips which were very beginners level for improving programming skills, and in this video I'm going to be talking about some more important programming skills which are more applicable if you're already into programming, already getting started. And this is still beginners level, but this is for someone who's already started off programming. Okay, so let's get started. Now tip number 1 is to study algorithms and data structures. Yes guys, this is one of the most important subject, most conceptual and also perceived as a little bit difficult when you're a beginner. But ultimately when you're going to be a developer, you're going to write big algorithms, and it is very important to understand data structures. Because data structures and algorithms require logical and analytical thinking. And just learning the syntax, just learning the programming language is not going to be enough. So make sure you study data structures and algorithms. Having said that, I do have an ongoing series on data structures and algorithms. So if you're a beginner, if you're interested, I'll drop that link in the video description. So let's move on to the next tip. So the tip number 2 is to join tech communities and tech forums. So when you're beginning as a programmer, when you're starting off as a beginner, it is really important to stay updated with the latest technologies, latest trends, and to mingle around and to socialize with people who have the same programming skills. Now the best way is to be online and to join tech communities, make a profile on Stack Overflow, join some Facebook groups, see the subreddit. I'll drop the link in the video description which will give you some more insights and more communities. So in that communities, a lot of people share their knowledge, a lot of experts share their knowledge. So that will be very helpful for you guys if you're a beginner. So stay updated with these technologies because that's going to help you a lot at the initial phases, and once you get into it, once you get a hang of it, even you can contribute in those communities. So that's tip number 2, join tech communities, stay updated with the latest trends, and let's move on to the next tip. Now tip number 3 is to work on a project. Now this is a very important tip because ultimately you're going to be developing some applications. So if you're going to get into working environments, you're going to be working in teams and you're going to be working on big applications and developing big time projects. So if you started off right at the beginning itself, let's say you're taking a small inventory management project also, that will help you a lot because it will give you the real world experience. So try to build a small project, even if it's a copied version of some other project, you can just try to mimic some other project so that you can learn many things as you move along. So that's really important. So my suggestion would be to start off with a small project. Let's say it's a basic inventory management system or a small attendance management system or a small time calculator. And I know these topics are repetitive, but if you're a beginner and if you start off making these small projects, you'll understand that there is a lot more than what meets the eye, and you'll face a lot of difficulties initially. But once you resolve them, you can take on harder and difficult projects. And in fact, you can do freelancing and make real world projects also. That is the live projects. So yes, this was tip number 3. Build some projects that will be really helpful. Let's move on to tip number 4. So tip number 4 is to do teamwork. Now just adding on to tip number 3, I just mentioned that you can build your own project, make your own project. So tip number 4 is like complementing that tip, because what you can do is you can build these projects in teams. The reason why I'm suggesting you to do teamwork is because when you're doing teamwork, you have multiple minds working on the same project and there is a lot of knowledge transfer. So if you're working in a team of 2 or 3, understand that there are 2 other brains working on the same project and they can have better ideas or vice versa, right? So that knowledge transfer will help you a lot. Another benefit of working in a project is the risk of the project reduces drastically and the success rate increases dramatically. That's because when multiple people are working, you have different ideas for the same solution and then you can pick out the best solution and move forward. Also the risk reduces because the chances of making mistake reduces because you have multiple brains working on the same problem. Lastly, one amazing thing that you learn when you work in teams is you understand how to interact with other people. Now this is very important when you're actually gonna get into the corporate environment, right? So when you get into a company as a developer, obviously you're gonna be working in teams and not as a solo person, right? So if you already have the hang of it of working with teams, it's gonna be very easy to interact with the corporate teammates when you get into some company. So that's an added benefit. So that was tip number 4. Let's move on to the last tip. Now the 5th tip is to take part in hackathons and competitive programming. So this is again like a teamwork thing that you can do along with your friends. Join some forums and take a note of the different hackathon events which are happening around. See what you like and what you dislike and then go ahead and participate in it. When you participate, you really understand what your level is. When you have different competitors, you learn from them also, and you see the different ideas that people put forward. So that will give you a lot of exposure as a beginner, and that will definitely dramatically speed up your programming and learning experience. So take part in hackathons, join up some websites like CodeChef or HackerRank, create your account, solve some competitive problems. And I understand that initially it will be a little bit difficult because the level of questions, even at the easier level, is kind of difficult and intimidating at start. But once you start solving these problems, you will get better at it, and then that will boost your confidence. So definitely go ahead and create your account on all these websites. I'll drop some links in the video description for your reference. Just Google some different hackathons around you and you'll get a list of events that are happening. Inquire and take part in college festivals, college events as well. So that will definitely be helpful. So yeah, these were my 5 intermediate level tips to level up your programming skills and learn programming in a faster and easier way. So that's it for this video, guys. If you like this video, let me know in the comments how this video was. Do give it a thumbs up. Do share it with your friends. If you have any suggestions or if you have any tips of your own or if you have any doubts, you can always put them in the comment section, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.